Okay, all right. Hello everyone and welcome to this pre-course session on the course from Emeritus and MIT Sloan called Digital Transformation Platform Strategies for Success. I hope you can hear me well. My name is Deborah Soul and I will be your host for showing you around this course. I understand many of you have already registered and we look forward to having you with us in about 10 days. For those who might still be considering what your choice might be, we really hope that this session will give you a lot of information about the course that will enable you to make your choice wisely. So before we get going, I just want to clarify some of the features of Zoom that we'll make use of today. Hopefully everybody's pretty familiar with this tool by now. I'm sure many of you have been working at home the past few months, or possibly having to communicate with family through tools like this. So the main thing is that you can hear me, that you can see the slides, and that if you have questions, please use the Q&A option that is available on the Zoom control bar somewhere. It will be hovering somewhere on your screen. If you want to chat, please feel free to chat, but if that becomes a distraction to you personally, you can just close up that window and not worry about it. Some people, like to parallel process, others, don't. That's fine either way. But if you do have questions, please use this Q&A option here. So what do we hope to cover today? We want to give you a little bit of introduction to the faculty. We'll talk a little bit about Emeritus as well. There'll be some information about the course and the characteristics of it, the scope of it. We'll talk a little bit about the learning experience, doing an online course that may be new to some of you. And then we'll have some time for Q&A as well. So we hope that you'll be able to get everything that you need to know out of this session. And please, don't be shy to ask your questions if you have them. Okay, so let's start with the faculty. We have the lead faculty on this is Prof. Jeff Parker, who is currently the director of a Masters of Engineering Management program at Dartmouth College, very well-known college here in the US, one of the Ivy Leagues. He's also a professor of engineering there, of course. His connection to MIT is that he is a visiting scholar and a research fellow at MIT's Initiative on the Digital Economy, which is a kind of research convening group that has been in place for about 6 or 7 years now. It sort of grew out of the Center for Digital Business. So there's a lot of digital activity and research that's been going on in that group, and Jeff has had played a central role in that group. He's also previously served as the director of Tulane Energy Institute and with General Electric in Africa on their technical task force. His work on two-sided markets is, sort of seminal in the economics field, and he's currently sort of studying distributed innovation, business platform strategy, and technical innovation, technical economic systems. He works a lot with a colleague, Marshall Van Alstyne, who's also in the Boston area at Boston University, and they together both earned the Digital Thinking Award at the Thinkers 50 last year, so 2019. The Thinkers 50 is kind of like an award for people with big, important ideas, basically. And so Jeff and Marshall were awarded that in this field on platforms. So he's a co-author of the Platform Revolution book. It's Platform Revolution: How Network Markets Are Transforming the Economy and How to Make Them Work for You. So that was written with Marshall and with Sanjit Choudhary. So that's the background to Jeff. Let me talk a little bit more about the course leaders. So I'm one of the course leaders on this course and a couple of others. So my background is in really at the intersection of technology and organizations. I'm a researcher and an instructor, and I do some consulting as well. So really centered on IT research, a lot of development projects in industry and academia. I've been sort of in academia, or sort of on the outskirts of academia, I should say, for a number of years. But I started my career in the chemical industry, you know, after doing a computer science degree. So I feel like I have the perspective of both, you know, both sides of the inside and outside the ivory tower, so to speak. And you know, a lot of the work that I do or have done previously at MIT in the research field was really client-focused research, client-focused or client-sponsored research. So, you know, being involved in that liaison role as well. You may recognize that I have an accent. I'm not from the Boston area, even though I have lived here for a long, long time now. I'm South African, and I've worked in Europe and in the US and in Africa. So it's always a pleasure for me to be involved in these kinds of global courses, because there's such a rich experience that comes when people from different locations and backgrounds and perspectives, you know, get together and discuss things. My colleague, who I don't believe has made it to join us yet, I think there must be an incident, but hopefully he'll be able to join us in a moment. So my colleague is on the course is Dimitris Karepis, and he has also been a course leader with Emeritus for 3 or 4 years now, I believe. So he is really a practicing digital transformation leader with more than 25 years of executive experience in, you know, you can see some high-level roles, transforming and building organizations. And he works both in the B2B and the B2C space, consumer electronics, technology, telco, and gaming sectors. He has real global experience as well. He's lived and worked in a number of places, including San Francisco, Tokyo, London, Munich, Brussels, Zurich, Vienna, Athens, and Krakow, and leading teams across more than 70 countries. He's currently, as I said, practicing in the space. He's consulting with Digital Works Group, which is based out of London. And as part of that, he's also mentoring startups and scale-ups and acting as an executive coach. So Dimitris brings a wealth of experience to this course, which I really think you'll value and get the benefit of. Okay, let me talk about Emeritus. So Emeritus is an edtech company that has been operational for, well, it sort of started off in one phase and became more online. So they've been around for a number of years too. The model is that we partner with the best universities around the world to create high-level online courses. And to date, Emeritus has served over 30,000 students from across the world. And you can see the areas where people are drawn from, pretty much every continent. And we're increasingly seeing participation from, you know, all continents. It's not just US-centric. Emeritus is actually headquartered in Singapore, but we have offices and activities all around the world as well. Let me talk about the model for how this course works. So online courses are really, especially these ones that we've designed here at Emeritus, they're really designed to help you get through the material to complete the course. A lot of online courses, you know, might just let you go with a series of videos and you're kind of on your own. That's not the model here. It's really trying to be the combination of high tech, but also high touch, that you have a lot of support and interaction along the way. So Thinking first about the content. The content is, provided by faculty from leading academic institutions. That's real core of the course. We have a number of live guest lectures, and we also create opportunities for peer-to-peer learning and feedback through online discussions, and also through the live sessions. There's opportunity to hear what other people are asking, to get to hear other people's comments about the material and that sort of thing. The overall course is designed in what we call sort of bite-sized learning pieces. All the material is chunked into relatively small segments, either of videos or of assignments or of discussions or of tasks to explore, so that you can accomplish it relatively easily in the course of your ongoing life and work. We understand that many of you are probably professionals. You're engaged in a full-time job already. You probably have family responsibilities as well. So the idea is that you can fit in the requirements of this goal of learning into what you're already doing. So you don't have to. Everything can be done in small chunks of time. Other parts of the course, opportunities for simulations and really real-world applications, trying to think about how you apply this knowledge in your own business, and taking it in and reflecting on it. There is obviously, I don't know whether you're watching this on a phone screen or on a laptop or a desktop screen, but there is a mobile interface as well as a browser interface, so it's really designed for you to access at any time. And the other piece is that we do offer, there are ongoing assignments that are scheduled throughout the course. So you're encouraged to keep up with your cohort. This is not a model where you can race ahead and do it all in one go and perhaps not absorb very much. The release of materials is paced. It's sort of materials are released on a weekly basis. So you're paced to stay current with your cohort, but also the assignments are due on a weekly basis too. So from that point of view, you're also expected to, keep up with the cohort. And in fact, that's how you get the best out of the aspects like discussions and conversations. It's no good. Well, it's not no good, but it's not as valuable to come to a conversation a week later and sort of see what people have been discussing, and you all you can do is sort of read, but you can't really participate in an active way. So we really try to design this so that you are encouraged to stay up to date, and there is grading and evaluation of your submissions. You can see on the left-hand side there, the course completion rate at Emeritus sort of overall is over 85%, which is very high compared with most sort of MOOCs or sort of online courses. So we really want you to succeed. This is, as an educator, I am thrilled that you're wanting to learn more, and we're there to try and help you do this. Learn stuff that's probably very, very relevant to your work and your career right now. Then we move on and talk a little bit about the community that you might be joining. So there is an Emeritus network, which is a community of all the past participants of courses offered by Emeritus, and people who successfully complete the course and are get their certificate are eligible to join this network. It's an environment where you can interact with other participants, connect with people globally, and there are some sort of more tangible benefits as well. But really, it's a community of people who think and are entrepreneurial and are interested in learning and advancing themselves and their practice. So that's something that you can count on joining if you actually complete the course. So let's move on. How are we doing on time? I am thinking, sorry, just a moment. I just wanted to check on one thing. Okay. Hopefully, if anybody's okay, no questions yet, so we'll keep going. All right. So let me talk a little bit about the course Platform Strategies for Success. And the first thing that I want to emphasize is that this is a course that focuses on digital platforms. It's platform businesses. So digital transformation is a very, very wide topic, and it can be focused on the technologies, and Emeritus does offer a lot of courses that kind of take that track. It can be focused on the organizational dynamics that are important to consider as you're trying to transform a business. There's a whole organization behind that that's important. There are different ways of thinking about your platform architecture or your business architecture, the technical architecture on which your business rests. That might also be an aspect of digital transformation. In this course, we're really focusing on the opportunity of digital platform businesses that are, really emerging as a very successful business model in a world where you have access to pervasive data and, sort of ubiquitous connectivity. So let me give you some examples of these kinds of businesses. So we have some that you may be very, very familiar with. eBay is a platform business that connects people who have something to buy or to sell and people who want to buy something. It's basically hosting an environment where they can find each other, agree on a price, and make a transaction. Airbnb is also a platform business, a digital platform business. They are helping people who have a space to rent with the hosts, with guests, people who would like to come and stay in a region or an area for a while. So Airbnb is the platform that allows those two kinds of parties to meet, to find each other, to select, which of the possible hosts perhaps might be the best match for them, and to make a transaction where they agree to exchange something, money for the stay, right? Uber, another platform business connecting drivers to riders, often in a much more localized setting. For example, in the Boston area where I am, they're connecting Boston drivers to Boston riders. We're not necessarily interested in what goes on, say 100 miles away, but they may have another little community of riders and drivers in another town who are interested in connecting with each other and transacting. So that's the sort of basic idea of a platform business. Here are a couple of other ones that are not perhaps so, I know these companies all started in the US. So Alibaba, again, an e-commerce sort of platform where people who are trying to sell things are able to find people who want to buy things. I actually don't know Zalando. This is put together by my colleague, who unfortunately is missing for some reason. We hope nothing's gone too badly wrong. Upwork is another great example of a platform business. Upwork connects freelancers who want to work on a project or want to apply their skills to a particular task, and it connects to companies who need some specific expertise or some specific skills to complete a project or a task. So Upwork connects companies or clients who have work to be done with specialist freelancers who have the skills to do that work. And Upwork provides the platform, that it provides the meeting point and the tools that go around that with it. That's one way of thinking about a platform, right? Another kind of platform are operating systems, where the operating system creates a space, a place, a platform where different parties can build on top and offer value to each other. So if you think about the iOS platform or the Android platform, app developers can develop apps for those platforms, and then by developing on top of that platform, they are offering something that's so valuable to any user whose device is using that platform. So that's another way that you're connecting providers of apps with users of apps. Okay. Another way of thinking about platforms is in the social space. We have social platforms where there's not necessarily a direct transaction, or at least not originally, but the transaction, the interaction is more of a social nature. That, for example, on Facebook, you might be connecting some users with other users, other individuals who want to find information about friends. Facebook is providing a way to connect there, and then eventually that expanded to providing a way to connect with groups, or finding a way to connect with commercial commercial entities like businesses. LinkedIn originally started as a platform just to connect professional people with each other, so that you almost a way to keep track of your business cards. You exchange those. So, oh, let's connect, right? And I know I've connected with many participants on these courses over the years. But LinkedIn itself has expanded its business to provide additional means for different kinds of parties to connect. So now, recruiters can connect with individual professionals, or professionals can try and have a means to find jobs. So there's that. Additional layers. There's opportunities to learn. So you can you can connect to courses, for example. So these are all, same with YouTube. Ability for people who produce videos to share them, and people who want to consume videos to find them. These are all examples of platform businesses, but they're slightly different. Here's a Kickstarter, connects funders or with people who want to people who are seeking funds with people who are interested in funding those businesses. PayPal and Apple Pay are a different kind of platform, a digital platform. They're actually the platform for payment. Okay, but if you're on PayPal, it means that you can pay anybody else through that platform, and who is also on that platform. Same with Apple Pay. Here's a M-Pesa, very popular in Africa, started in Kenya. Another payment system that is a platform. It connects parties who need to exchange payment. And here again, so we have, sorry, I'm seeing a question, but I'll get to that in a moment. Okay, and so here we have a couple of other kinds of businesses that are, have initially started as a service on one side to perhaps producers, and then suddenly realized, or maybe not suddenly, maybe it was the plan all along, realized that there are ways that they can reach a different group of participants who really want to connect with those providers. So Teladoc connects doctors with patients. OpenTable connects restaurants with people who would like to reserve a table, etc. And SAP and Amazon and Bricklink, these are all examples of businesses that might have had a product, or might have had a sort of standalone business product or pipeline-centered business, and now have added a platform business on the side where they are convening the interactions of other players, sometimes even their competitors, right? Here are a couple of other examples of platform businesses. So you see there are different kinds of platform businesses, and this is the space that we're going to be exploring, because all of these are enabled by digital connectivity, by the ability to gather and analyze and manipulate a lot of data to make that filtering and matching uh, situation that is necessary when you've got millions of say consumers on one side and millions of providers or producers on the other side. So it's, there's a very key part of a successful business platform is how do you help them find the right person or the right entity on the other side. This is the core of what this course will focus on. So let me talk about the structure a little bit. As far as overview, time-wise, it's about 2 to 4 hours per week of learning effort, and that includes the videos. There might be a live webinar. It's not every week, but about 6 out of the 8 weeks, and then your graded assignments. So we encourage you to sort of be able to commit about that amount of time. For some people, it might take longer depending on how familiar you are with some of the concepts and the terms. There are 8 modules. Each module lasts a week, and so this is a 2-month course. And in the end, we hope that you'll all get a verified digital certificate, which is awarded by both Emeritus and Sloan. Okay, MIT Sloan. So, course objectives. When you complete this course, you should be able to define a platform business model. So I've given you a couple of examples to whet your appetite, and you want to be able to distinguish it from a pipeline or a platform business model. You want to be able to understand the differences and why they're important. You will be able to know how to compete in winner-take-all or winner-take-most markets with two-sided or multi-sided networks. This is one of the reasons why platform businesses are becoming so successful, is that because they become much more valuable the more participants there are on both sides. And so the ones that get going and get traction tend to have a sort of positive reinforcing effect, leading to often a winner-take-all or a winner-take-most of the market. So we want you to try and understand how those network effects work, and understand the context and the concepts of multi-homing and network effects. We'll help you develop strategies for launching digital platforms. Many of the people who take this course are either wanting to start their own business, or they're wanting to start a platform within an existing company, or maybe you're thinking about taking these skills elsewhere. Give you strategies for developing your own business and launching it. Another piece is understanding how traditional pricing models break down in the context of platforms. So the way you price your offering is very different from the way you might think about the way pricing a physical or even a digital product. And so we'll have a module, specifically talking about monetization. You should, on completion, be able to understand how to govern platforms so that they succeed. Governance is a hugely important aspect of platform management, platform success. And by governance, I mean setting the rules, setting the norms, setting the boundaries of how this platform will work. It's nothing to do with governments or government regulation, although that may be related, but governance is about how you govern your own platform, how you manage it in a way that makes it succeed for everybody. And finally, you'll gain insights into the impact and opportunities of adopting platform strategies in different industries. There are a lot of examples from different industries, and hopefully you'll find ways to connect your own knowledge to those examples. All right, those are the course objectives. I'll quickly run through the summary of what we cover. So module 1 is really sort of an introductory module talking about this shift from products to platforms, and introducing the idea of network effects. And Prof. Parker describes how this shift is taking place in lots of different industries and lots of different functions. In module 2, we're specifically sort of introducing some core concepts and thinking about markets and the environment and the structure of platforms, and the sort of key elements of what makes a platform business. Module 3 focuses on design and monetization. How do you design a successful and effective platform, and then how do you monetize it in a way that you can grow your business, grow your platform effectively? The trick about a platform is that you always have these different parties on at least 2 parties, and it's hard to grow the platform unless you have participation on at least 2 sides. So, how do you do that? How do you encourage people to participate? The monetization segment focuses a lot on that. Module 4 focuses on launching and growing the digital platform. We talk about a number of strategies that have been proven successful in growing platform businesses specifically. Module 5 focus on open innovation, how to use open innovation to your benefit. This is very, very important because as platforms grow, they can't continue to satisfy all the very many different needs of all those millions of participants. And often the way that they succeed is by leveraging their partners, leveraging the producers on their platform to offer additional functionality to sort of subsections of or subgroups of the platform community. And it's important to know what you want to hang on to and what you want to maintain and build yourself, and what you can leave to others. So we have a discussion on that. Module 6 focuses on governance. As I mentioned already, this is a very, very important topic, and we usually have some great discussions there on that. Module 7, we'll talk about strategy and competition in the digital age. So thinking, competition is different when you're a platform business versus a product business. So there's a lot to discuss there. And then finally, module 8 focuses a little bit more forward-looking, thinking about how things might evolve, thinking about digital transformation across industries. One of the sort of phenomena that you may have noticed is that there seems to be a blurring of industries these days. That, for example, communications, and you might see businesses that could be classified as entertainment, or could be classified as communications, could be classified as technology. It's hard to say, that there are these very clear standalone industries anymore. And one of the reasons that is happening is because of this sort of trend towards pervasive digitization. So information is being digitized all the time. The data about businesses, about different industries is digitized, and that is sort of blurring the boundaries, enabling different companies, different businesses to move into spaces that you might not have thought to see them. So we'll be thinking about that in the context of platform businesses in week 8. So your learning experience will be consist of the following. As I said, a lot of small chunks of learning opportunities. So there are 80 interactive lectures as part of this course. There are weekly discussions. Sometimes there are graded discussions, but then there are always more reflective discussions where you can just exchange thoughts and ideas and questions with your peers in your cohort. There are 6 assignments throughout that are sort of spread through this course. And they involve, in many cases, case studies. A case study is, if you're perhaps not familiar with the idea of a case study, it's really an assignment that's focused on a specific situation, a specific case, a specific company often. And you get access to a lot of detailed information about what happened in that setting, what happened in that situation. And part of your responsibility is to tease out the important and the relevant details, the relevant facts from this narrative. The idea is that it's much more realistic than just feeding you facts, that you have to, you hear the story of a company, what they did, why they did, what some of the information that they had access to, and you learn from getting into their shoes and trying to make decisions on their behalf, so to speak. So that's really the case approach. It's very, very highly used or highly regarded and widely used in business education generally, and that's why we're bringing it in this course as well. There are 4 regular webinars spread through the course, and then there might also be some additional guest sessions. So the live webinars are scheduled in weeks 1 to, they're not, sorry, there are 4 of them, but they're scheduled in week 1, week 4, week 7, and then right at the end. So the SAP, the Upwork case is an assignment that you'll do in week 3, and we typically will debrief that and have some discussion the following week. So once you've submitted your assignment, then we'll have some open discussion about some ideas so that you can, learn again. And the same with the SAP case, that comes up in week 6, and then we'll debrief it the following week. So those are the scheduled webinars, and then there are also likely to be a number of guest webinars, live sessions that will be in between those course-related webinars. Let me talk briefly about the assignments that you have access to, or that you'll be expected to do. So in week 1, the first assignment focuses on, it's more of a reflective assignment, thinking about the impact of the platform shift. And you'll obviously have gone through the first week's content, but you also bring your own experience to bear in responding to that reflection assignment. Week 2 focuses on the company of Intuit, and specifically a competitive issue that they faced with another sort of tax and accounting software. And you're encouraged to think about, answer some questions about that. That's primarily the assignment consists of a sequence of discussion questions that you'll respond to. The Upwork case, as I mentioned, we do debrief that. There again, you're asked a couple of questions. In each case, you're given a rubric for these assignments so that it's clear what you're expected to do to get your full credit for the assignment. As I said right at the beginning, we want you to succeed. We're not trying to confuse you or make it hard for you to succeed. We want you to learn, and we want you to enjoy the process of doing so. I described Upwork earlier. It's the sort of skills talent matching platform, matching skilled freelancers with companies that need specialized skills or specialized expertise. Week 4, we have a case on Google Health and Microsoft Health Vault. And you may say, do they exist? Well, you will find out. That will be a little bit of an exercise for you. It's specifically talking about launching and growing platforms. And so you'll do some sort of research to address how well or address the strategies, consider the strategies that each of those companies used. Week 5 is our MakerBot case, which focuses on open innovation. So this is, each of the cases is tied to the modules topic. And then SAP, the case focus is governance. SAP, you may recognize, well-known company around the world. They provide enterprise resource planning software. So they do have a very, very large, very successful product business. But they also have a platform business that has been, they developed subsequently, and this case will focus on that platform business of SAP and think about questions of governance. And then there are, in week 7 and 8, it's just more optional discussions that are available, and that we really encourage you to discuss, to use the chimes to interact with your peers on this course, because often people, as I said before, people from all over the world are participating. They bring a wealth of experience and different perspectives, and there's so much one can learn if you're open to that. So that's one of the advantages. Sorry, I think, let me see. Is Demetrius? Demetrius is here. Demetrius, why don't you take over? I'm sorry. I didn't see you come in. Would you like to take over and introduce yourself?
Deborah, please go on till the end of the presentation, and maybe I can introduce myself later on. And I apologize for joining so late. I had major issues with my computer today, suddenly.
Okay,
so
all right.
Go on. I'm happy to introduce myself at the end. Thank you.
All right. All right. So let me talk about the role that Demetrius and I play. So we're here, throughout the course. We're trying to be available to answer your questions, specifically on the course content and the assignments. There's also a fabulous support team who is there if you ever have technical or more logistical issues, but we're here to help with the course content. We moderate the discussion forums, and we present and deliver the live sessions. We highlight the key topics and principles, and as the sessions are all interactive, and so there are lots of opportunities for Q&A for you to get your perspectives across in those sessions. This maybe will give you a little sense of the platform we use so this is another example of a platform business. We use the learning platform provided by Canvas, which basically is a platform that enables course producers to connect with or to deliver their courses to, course participants. Those are the two sides of using the platform. So generally, this is the sort of view that you'll see. There are a couple of options here which are platform-wide. So when you join, you'll set up your account unless you've already taken a prior course with us, and then you'll probably your account will show up already. The dashboard just is the access to all the courses that you're in. You have a platform-wide calendar, which is adjusted to your local time zone, and then there's also a mailing feature so that you can interact with us or with other people in the platform. So then this part is really the specific to the course, to the Digital Transformation Platform Strategies course. You can see that there are some menu tabs here. You can see that there are behind people, access to all the other course participants, a way to connect with them. We do try to facilitate opportunities for you to connect with each other right at the beginning, and I've said it over and over. We really encourage that. It's a great benefit of taking an online course, taking a global course. All the content for the course is structured under this module tab. Each week, a new module is released So, as you work your way through that content under there, when you're finished, you're up to date. If you can go further, that's just, you just work through that material. All the assignments and discussions and other elements are also in that stream of content under the module tab. And then obviously you have access to your grades through this option here. We will provide a much more detailed show you around session when we get started in the course proper, but this just gives you a little sense of what the environment will look like. So some recommendations for learning online. I've said before, stay up to date. It's really valuable to be current with your cohort, to be current with the material. It's much less stressful, but you need to plan a little. So find a space that you can work, or and build in slots that you can spend time on this course. We encourage interaction with your peers on the course and with the Emeritus team. We're all here to help you, and your peers are all full of experience and good perspectives that can add to your learning. And finally, we really encourage you to put the learning into practice in your own work, in your own organization, even as you're going through the course, because that's how you'll retain it. That's how you'll understand these concepts more thoroughly. So the nitty-gritty, fees and application deadlines, you can see the course fee in US dollars there, and we have a number of payment options. If you don't want to put that down right away, you can pay in 2 or 3 installments spread out as far as close to the end of October. Program starts on the 10th of September and the deadline is the 9th. So we do hope that you will choose to join us, and look forward to having you along for the ride, for this learning journey. This is what your certificate will look like if you complete the course. It's issued by MIT's Management Executive Education at Sloan and Emeritus. And this is a digital certificate which you receive as a link, and you can link it to, you can put it on your profile on LinkedIn or on whatever other professional site you might have. So, you can get a paper certificate as well, but a lot of people, this is really, they want to be able to demonstrate their learning to people online. So just to wrap, there's all the important information. The course starts on the 10th. It lasts for 2 months, about 2 to 4 hours a week, $1,500 US, and we really encourage you to apply. And you can see some of the, you can follow Emeritus and the coursework on most social media platforms. We encourage you to do that. And now we'll open it up for questions, and I'm going to invite Demetrius to take a little time to introduce himself properly as we do that. Demetrius, I'll turn it over to you for a minute.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Again, apologies to everybody. I mean, never happened before the last 3 years that I ran webinars, but it happened today. I had a major issue with my Microsoft applications and I could not join on time. Anyway, excuses, maybe. My apologies for joining late, but I'm pretty sure that Deborah could actually explain you about the Emeritus course. On my side, I've been working the last 25 years as an executive, playing many different roles in many places across the world, sometimes about B2B, sometimes for B2C, for products, for services, mainly for pipeline businesses. Sometimes it was turning around a problematic business, and many times it was about setting up a business from scratch. The last few years, I work as a consultant for a company called Digital Works Group based in London. And we help companies mainly in the UK, but also in Europe and Middle East to become more competitive. And we help them with their digital transformation challenges and opportunities that they have. Many times it is about digital platforms, and many companies, they ask for our help, how they can succeed for digital platforms. What I would like to highlight here is that digital platforms, maybe it was nice to know 20 years ago when they started, or 25 years ago with eBay. But nowadays, the majority of the companies, they need, or they will need very soon, to add on top of what they do a digital platform, because they can provide a much better value to their customers, and they have a great opportunity to monetize much better the whole ecosystem. We're talking more and more about ecosystems where companies can be in the center of the ecosystem, building an ecosystem with many different participants and having 2 or 3 sites in a platform. But many times, something that many companies forget, they can be a part of many other ecosystems, and that makes it by far more complicated. So what I would like to say is I cannot imagine that any business person today, whether you start your career or you are somewhere in the middle of your career or you continue your career, does not know about how to run a digital platform. It's really critical. And it's completely different than running a pipeline business. The supply chain is different. I mean, actually, you use what is already in the market, the capacity, and you try to bring better utilization. And that needs completely different strategies, how you monetize, how you design, how you govern, how you launch. Not easy at all, but very important for any company. I know from the past that the majority among you, you are entrepreneurs already or aspired entrepreneurs. Maybe 40 to 50% of the students, you already have a digital platform or you are about to start a digital platform. You have an idea maybe about that and you want to learn more about digital platforms, which is great. And another 50%, if I simplify the statistics, you work already for a company or you are a consultant and you want to consult companies and you want to learn about digital platforms. I really consider it critical today for any company to know about digital platforms and for any business person. So that's all from my side, and maybe we can move to questions. Deborah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah. So we have a couple of questions in the Q&A and a couple in the chat. So Sergio's asking in the Q&A, are digital platforms becoming even more common in more conservative businesses or industries such as mining, pulp and paper, the chemical industry? Yes. Yes, I think the truth is that they are applicable in any industry. And even businesses that might think of their industry as pretty stable, it's not wise to assume it's going to be like that forever. As Demetrius says, you know, almost every business person should have a good understanding, because this ecosystem approach is sort of pervading all industries.
Yes, and what's very important is what we see for the energy industry, where there will be more and more prosumers that they can create energy, and then you need the energy companies to bring them together and add the energy that the prosumers, the consumers, the professional consumers create for additional energy. But what we see also in terms of other industries like mining, pulp, paper, exactly. Thank you very much actually for your question. They are quite inefficient because they build vertical chains. So they start from, they own everything in the chain many times. Sometimes they work, of course, with different companies, but they try to own everything. And most of them, they do exactly the same job. So they can use digital platform, whether it is in terms of blockchain to manage, you know, invoicing and payment with so many different partners that they have, or sometimes they can work together with the same partners that they can provide services to different competitors in those industries, and they can achieve better efficiency. So that a digital platform, it does not mean necessarily that somebody comes to disrupt the industry. It can be simply providing efficiency to the industry. Like we see sometimes with OpenTable, right? The company that we shared earlier on, where competitors like BP, Shell, and Total, they work together also with banks to set up a kind of private among them blockchain, and in this way to provide much better, much easier invoicing and payment among hundreds and thousands of different partners everywhere in the world. So it can have so many different ways of using digital platforms.
Good. All right.
Yeah, and exactly the same what you were thinking, Sergio. Yeah, I can see it. Thank you. I've seen earlier on, I think there was something in the chat, a question by one of the students whether we expect you to set up a digital platform during the course. No, that's not the case. And
It was from Jacqueline.
what's very important is digital platform, although it sounds like something technical. Yes, yes, thank you. Thank you, Deborah. So digital platforms, for many people, it sounds like something technical. You can easily find turnkey solutions everywhere. There are so many cloud providers where you can find easily a solution. The major challenge for digital platform is the business model, how you can attract the right participants in the platform, how you keep them motivated to interact and transact with each other. So it is much more a business issue rather than a technical issue.
Yeah.
A challenge, actually, rather than issue.
I see a question from Benny in the chat about whether there's a final examination to get the certificate. No, there is no final examination. The certificate, you earn credit based on all your submission of assignments and discussion assignments throughout the course. So no final exam. I think the other questions have been addressed in the chat. If anybody has open questions, maybe you can just put them in the Q&A, then we won't miss them. Yeah, I think the support team has addressed a lot of the questions. So if you look through the chat, you'll also see some answers to some of those. Okay, so I'm coming in now. Hepsi asks, is there post support if one has started developing a platform? We're not specifically in the consulting business, or at least not in this capacity. But you know, you should, if you're having specific questions, those are things that you might certainly, you know, discuss and raise with your peers in the weekly discussions. That's one of the advantages that of the global course, and we also encourage you to connect with each other, because often people find good reasons to collaborate.
Yes, and this is great actually about the community, because probably you might find people that could be useful for your idea to set up something going forward. It's a great community of students, if I call them students. Many among you, you are executives, you are very experienced professionals, you are entrepreneurs. So you can really learn and from each other, and that's a great networking. I see another question. Do we require prior experience with digital transformation from Saurabh, right? No, you don't need any experience with digital transformation. Of course, you know, digital transformation can have also different flavors. Sometimes digital transformation could be simply helping a company to start using automation instead of doing a lot of things manually. And this is a rather simple digital transformation. Sometimes it can be how to learn to use digital marketing techniques to become more successful nowadays. That's another digital transformation. But this is a major digital transformation where a company starts changing their business model, or they start adding a business model to what they do, and that needs completely different mindset. But no, you don't need the prior experience with digital transformation. Great questions. Thank you very much.
There's one question about the profile of person to take advantage of the course. I don't think you need to be in a specific role or function. I think the main thing is that you have an interest in learning about these things. You may find, if you have some background in a certain field, that you might have heard of some of the concepts before. You might understand aspects, sort of some of the business principles, but I wouldn't sort of exclude anyone, really. Demetrius?
Yes, I agree with you, Deborah. I would say again, looking at the profile of many among you over the last more than 2 years that we work on this course, I can say 50% among you, you are more entrepreneurs. You might want to start to come, maybe you have an idea, you want to launch a digital platform, or you started something and you want to make it more successful. That's one profile, certainly. The other part is you work for a company and you are in business, whether you are, I don't know, in strategy, in sales, in marketing, and you want to learn how to succeed in digital platforms, not only in pipeline. This is very important for your career. If it's not for today, for your company, it will be very soon tomorrow. So you better learn about that. And I would say those are the typical profiles that we have seen, either working for a company and you want to update your knowledge and know about digital platform, or you are much more entrepreneurial style and you want to launch a platform. There's another question from Zeynep. Are the cases to be handled with technical approach or project management approach, or finance? I would say the cases, they are much more about business. And this is about the principles that we're going to learn, how you design a digital platform to be successful, how you launch, how you monetize, or when you should monetize, when is a good time to monetize a digital platform, how you govern a digital platform. So it's very, very much about business, how you create a strong value proposition to attract providers on one side and attract consumers of the service on the other side, and match them together. So it's not so much about project management. It's not so much about finance or about technical. It's very much business. So management in that case, if I use your question.
Okay.
Welcome, sir. More questions?
I think we might be done. We don't see any more open questions. So I want to just say thank you for being here today. Thank you for your attention. We hope it's been valuable to you, and we really look forward to seeing you on the course in a couple of days.
The same with me. Thank you very much for joining. You can we will be delighted, both of us, Deborah and me, actually, if you would like to connect on LinkedIn, you can easily find both of us on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, please reach out to us on LinkedIn as well. but really looking forward to seeing you very, very soon in the next cohort. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.